All right, ready to shrink down to the nanoscale.
Let's dive in.
Today, it's nanoengineering.
Building those microscopic machines, revolutionizing medicine with tech you can barely even see.
It really does sound like sci-fi, but...
It's the reality for nanoengineers.
And that's where RoleCatcher comes in.
Yeah.
Their resources are awesome for helping anyone ace that interview for this cutting-edge career.
What's so cool about this field is it's not just about knowing the science, right? It's about actually applying it to real-world problems. Microscopic solutions with a macroscopic impact.
Okay, so how about we just jump right into some interview prep?
Let's do it.
RoleCatcher has this, stack of questions, but we're not just going to read them off.
No.
We're going to really break them down, figure out what the interviewer is really trying to get at.
Exactly, and we'll bring in those career insights from their guide as we go, too.
Perfect. So
you get the full picture.
Let's start with one that seems really basic. Tell me about your experience with nanomaterials.
Okay.
Sounds simple,
yeah,
but I bet there's a way to really make an answer stand out here.
Oh, for sure. The interviewer is trying to, gauge your foundational knowledge. You know, don't just list off all the courses you took, right?
Right.
Instead, think about specific projects, research, even personal interests that really show you are genuinely passionate about nanomaterials.
So, if you've been building nanobots in your basement since you were 12.
Oh, absolutely.
Mention that.
100% demonstrates initiative, inherent curiosity, which is so valuable in this field.
Okay, and speaking of skills, RoleCatcher really emphasizes this.
Yeah.
That reading comprehension is actually the most important skill.
Interesting.
For a nanoengineer. Even above, hardcore science stuff.
Wow. Yeah.
Seriously, why is reading so crucial?
Well, think about it.
Okay.
Nanoengineer, you're always reading these research papers, technical documents, safety protocols, super dense stuff.
Yeah.
They have to be able to grasp all that complex info really quickly to make the right decisions.
Okay, that makes total sense. So it's not just about being good in the lab.
Nope.
You got to be a good reader, too.
You got it.
Okay, let's go to another question.
Right.
How do you approach problem solving in your work?
Ooh, this feels trickier.
It is trickier. They want to know your thought process.
Oh.
So don't just jump to a solution.
Right.
Walk them through how you define the problem, how you gather information, brainstorm, and then how you choose the best way forward.
So it's about showing a structured approach.
Exactly.
Not just getting lucky with experiments, basically.
Right, and be ready for follow-up questions, too.
Oh, yeah.
They might ask you for a specific example of where you tackled, a really difficult problem in nanotech.
Okay.
So have one ready that highlights all those steps we just talked about. Okay, so let's try this one. Give me an example of a nanotechnology project you've worked on and the role you played in it.
All right, yeah.
This feels like your chance to really shine.
It is, but remember, clarity is key.
Okay.
Pick a project that relates to the job, explain it simply, like you're talking to someone who has never even heard of nanotech.
Right.
Focus on what you contributed, the tough stuff you overcame, and what you learned.
And I bet this is where teamwork comes in, right?
Oh, yeah.
Because nanoengineering, I'm guessing, it's not usually a solo thing.
Exactly. RoleCatcher's career guide even, it emphasizes collaboration.
Okay.
So talk about how you worked with other people, to delegated tasks, even navigated any disagreements. It shows you can actually work well in a team.
Right. Makes sense. Okay.
Yeah.
Here's one that probably trips people up.
Okay.
How do you stay up to date with advancements in nanotechnology? It's easy to just give a generic answer.
It is. So go beyond just reading journals, right?
Yeah.
Mention specific publications, websites, maybe even a podcast.
Oh, yeah. Wink, wink.
Talk about a breakthrough that you thought was cool. Show you're actually engaged.
I like it. Okay, next step.
All right.
How do you ensure the safety and ethical implications of your work in nanotechnology?
This is a big one.
This one feels kind of heavy.
It is. Nanotech has this power to really change the world. But we have to think about the risks too, right?
Sure.
So be honest, be thoughtful,
Okay.
Acknowledge the potential for dangers and emphasize those ethical things you consider.
Okay.
Talk about specific safety things you follow, how you stay informed about the ethics.
Right. They're always changing.
You're not just a brilliant scientist.
Yeah.
You're a responsible one too.
Exactly.
Okay, this next one gets more technical. Describe your experience with nanofabrication techniques. MRG lost.
Don't worry, this is where your technical skills shine.
Oh, okay.
They want to see your hands-on experience.
With things like lithography, etching, deposition, like sculpting, but on a tiny atomic level.
Right, so you got to know your stuff here.
You really do. Be ready to explain the different techniques, the equipment you've used, how precise you can be. If you've got projects that show off these skills, mention them.
Okay.
This is your moment to impress with what you can actually do.
Got it. All right.
Yeah.
Another teamwork one.
Yeah.
How do you collaborate with interdisciplinary teams?
Okay. Yeah.
It's all about communication, right?
I mean, it's even more than that.
Okay.
It's about really understanding and respecting all those different perspectives. You're going to be working with people from so many different areas. So show you can adapt how you talk to people, take in new ideas, work towards that one goal. So
if you've had to explain, like, complex nanotech to someone who's not a scientist.
Perfect example.
That's good.
Yeah. Hey. It shows you can bridge those communication gaps, which is so important in this field because it's all about collaborating.
Right. Teamwork makes the nanoscopic dream work.
Exactly.
Okay, 2 more for this round.
All right.
Describe your experience with computational modeling in nanotechnology.
Okay.
This feels pretty specific.
It is. They want to see how familiar you are with tools like molecular dynamics simulations or density functional theory calculations. It's like running virtual experiments to figure out how things will behave at the nanoscale.
So knowing your software, how to apply it to real problems.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Be prepared to talk about specific programs you've used, the kinds of modeling you've done, how you've actually used those models to solve problems in the real world. This shows off your analytical and computational skills.
Got it. All right, last one for this set. Describe your experience with characterization techniques for nanomaterials.
Oh.
This sounds kind of like fabrication, but more about, like, analysis.
That's it. They're interested in how you analyze and interpret data about those nanomaterials using things like electron microscopy or spectroscopy. Imagine being a detective, but at the atomic level, right?
Yeah.
Piecing together clues about how these tiny materials work.
So you not only build things, but understand them too.
Exactly. Highlight your knowledge of the different methods, the equipment, your ability to understand the results. It shows you have real expertise in analyzing things.
Okay, wow, we just did a ton of questions.
We did.
But before we move on,
yeah,
I want to touch on RoleCatcher's AI.
Okay.
It's not just about the info.
Right.
It can actually help tailor your answers.
It's one of the coolest things about RoleCatcher.
Okay, tell me more.
It analyzes job descriptions, and then it suggests how to actually change up your answers.
Oh, wow.
To highlight those specific skills and experience that they're looking for.
So it's like having a cheat sheet.
It really is, yeah.
But personalized for each interview.
Exactly.
Wow, that's amazing. So.
Yeah. And it gives you feedback, too, on how you're answering things.
Oh, really?
Helps you get better at talking about your skills, see what needs work.
It's like a virtual interview coach.
It is.
Wow, that's super helpful.
Yeah.
Okay, we've covered a ton, but
I know, right?
We're just getting started.
Just the beginning.
So how about we take a quick break?
Sounds good.
Maybe refuel our brains with some coffee.
Yeah.
Or, I don't know, some nano-sized snacks.
Nano snacks, I like it.
And we'll be right back for even more insightful questions and career tips.
More to come.
From RoleCatcher.
Okay. Back for more.
Ready to tackle some tougher questions.
Let's do it.
Okay, this one from RoleCatcher. It's a real brain teaser. Describe a challenging project you worked on and how you overcame those obstacles.
Yeah, it's a classic.
It is.
It lets you show how resilient you are and how you come up with solutions.
I bet this is one that makes people kind of nervous, though.
Oh.
It's hard to talk about challenges without sounding like you're complaining.
That's true.
Yeah.
But the key is to focus on the how.
Okay.
How did you figure out what was wrong?
Right.
What solutions did you try? And how did you finally succeed?
Okay.
Like telling a little adventure story.
I like it.
With a happy ending.
So you're showing you can learn from setbacks, turn them into chances to grow, like a true nanoengineer.
That's it.
And you know what?
What?
RoleCatcher says that being adaptable is super important in this field.
It's key.
So it all ties together.
And don't be afraid to get into the nitty-gritty. Talk about those technical roadblocks, the decisions you made, what you learned along the way.
Right.
Gives the interviewer a look inside how you solve problems.
And it's another chance to highlight those soft skills we talked about.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Teamwork, communication, and adaptability.
You got it. Did you have to work with others to troubleshoot? Did you have to explain something super technical to someone who didn't get it? Did you have to, like, change your whole approach when you learn new stuff?
Yeah.
Those all show you can roll with the punches.
Okay, let's switch gears for a sec and talk about career stages.
Okay.
RoleCatcher's Guide, it breaks down what you might actually be doing at different points in your nanoengineering career.
I love that. It helps you see where you could go.
It does.
So at the entry level, you might be helping those senior engineers.
Okay.
Doing research, running experiments, digging into data.
Lots of lab time.
Yeah, think of it as training, learning the ropes.
Okay, what happens when you move up to, like, a junior role?
Things get even more interesting. Yeah. You take on more responsibility, designing and making nanoscale devices.
Whoa.
Working with scientists from other fields, maybe even presenting your work at conferences.
That's so cool.
Yeah, you really get to apply what you know to more complex, impactful projects.
And what about when you reach the top?
Ooh.
Senior nanoengineer. What's that like?
You're a true leader.
Wow.
Leading teams, coming up with project plans, mentoring those junior engineers, getting funding, maybe even representing your company at events.
You've basically made it.
Nano guru status.
Okay, that's an aspiring path.
It is.
But let's get back to those interview questions.
Okay.
This next one from RoleCatcher really tests your technical knowledge.
Okay.
Can you describe your experience with microfluidics and its applications in nanotechnology?
All right, this one's getting specific.
It is.
It's your time to dive into what you know best. Microfluidics is all about working with tiny amounts of liquid.
Okay.
Super important for things like delivering drugs and biosensors at the nanoscale.
So if you've designed microfluidic devices
Yes.
or run experiments using them?
This is your moment.
It is.
Be ready to explain how microfluidics works.
Okay.
Talk about its uses in nanotech and describe any projects you've done in this area. Right.
Remember, details are key.
Okay.
If you can talk about the specific techniques and materials, that'll really make your answers stand out.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Let's tackle another one. Explain the concept of self-assembly and its relevance to nanotechnology.
Oh, this is a good one.
This one feels kind of theoretical.
It is a bit theoretical, but it's a fundamental idea in nanotech.
Okay.
Self-assembly is like nature's way of building things at the nanoscale.
Oh, okay.
Think about how molecules just come together on their own to form those complex structures, like DNA or proteins.
So we're not putting each atom in place ourselves.
Right.
We're tricking molecules into doing it for us.
Exactly. Clever. Right.
That's pretty cool.
And nanoengineers use this to create those amazing nanomaterials and devices. You could mention things like dip-pen nanolithography or DNA origami.
DNA origami?
Yeah.
What's that?
It's where we use self-assembly to make really intricate patterns and structures.
Wow, so it's like actual origami.
Yeah, but with DNA.
Exactly.
Okay, this next question really gets at what nanoengineers do. How would you approach the design and fabrication of a nanoscale sensor for detecting specific biomolecules?
This is where it all comes together. Your knowledge of nanomaterials, how to make them, how to analyze them, and of course, problem solving.
It's like a little design challenge, right, in the interview?
It is. So walk them through your process, step by step.
Okay.
How would you choose the right material for sensing? What method would you use to actually build the sensor? How would you make sure it's sensitive and specific to those biomolecules?
So you're showing them how you think.
Exactly.
And apply your knowledge.
Oh, yeah, to real problems.
Like they're getting a peek inside your brain.
Exactly.
Okay, this one's interesting. What are the potential ethical implications of nanotechnology, and how do you approach them in your work?
This is a big one.
It is.
Nanotech has this huge potential to change things.
Yeah.
But we have to think about the ethics, right?
Right. Of course.
We're talking about messing with the building blocks of everything.
It's powerful stuff.
It is.
So it's not just about scientific progress.
No.
It's about using this power responsibly.
Exactly. You could talk about the risks.
Like what?
Environmental impact of nanomaterials, the chance someone could misuse the technology.
Those are important.
Yeah. You're aware of these things.
Okay.
And talk about how you consider ethics in your research and design.
So you're not just a smart scientist, but an ethical one too.
That's it.
Okay, last question for this segment. How do you stay informed about the latest advancements and trends in nanotechnology?
This is your time to shine.
Oh.
Show how passionate you are about the field and that you're always learning.
Okay.
Mention specific journals, conferences, websites you follow.
Right.
Talk about a recent breakthrough that got you excited.
Okay.
Show them you're really in the know.
And this might be a good place to mention RoleCatcher.
Oh, absolutely.
Right.
Their platform keeps you up to date, and it has those AI tools that help with job applications.
Yeah, it's not just info, it's about taking action.
Exactly. The AI can actually find potential employers.
Bro.
Help you tweak your application for specific jobs, and even practice your interview answers.
So it's like a career assistant, but virtual.
It really is.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, it helps you feel more confident and stand out from the crowd.
Okay, we've covered a lot.
We have.
From those tough technical questions to the ethics of nanotechnology.
It's been a journey.
It has.
Through the nano world.
It has.
But we're not done yet.
No.
Oh.
Okay, so let's take a breather.
Sounds good.
And come back for the final part of our deep dive.
Okay.
Where we'll wrap up with some final tips and advice from RoleCatcher.
More great insights coming up.
Okay. Okay, we're back.
Round 3.
Final part of our nanoengineering deep dive.
Let's wrap this up.
We've gone through those interview questions, explored those different career stages, even talked about, like, the ethics of all this.
That's powerful stuff.
It is, but
yeah.
Before we finish up completely, RoleCatcher has some really good insights.
Oh, yeah.
About nanoengineering in general, like the big picture stuff.
They actually break down the pros and cons.
Oh, interesting.
Of this whole career path, which I think is super helpful.
Okay, so let's start with the good stuff.
The pros.
Yeah. Why is nanoengineering so hot right now?
Well, it's booming. Nanotechnology is changing everything. Medicine, electronics, you name it.
Right.
So there's a huge need for skilled nanoengineers.
Job security.
Exact.
You're not going to be replaced by a nanobot anytime soon?
Not likely. Plus, you get to work with the latest and greatest technology. You're shaping the future literally at the atomic level.
It's like a dream come true.
It is, for anyone who loves science.
What about, like, the potential for innovation?
Oh, that's huge.
Yeah.
Nanoengineering is all about pushing the limits.
Yep.
Coming up with brand new solutions. You could be part of something groundbreaking.
That's so cool.
It is. It's like a playground for problem solvers.
And I'm guessing the salary is pretty good, too.
Oh, yeah. Definitely not bad. Those specialized skills are in high demand.
Makes sense.
And, of course, no job is perfect.
Right.
RoleCatcher talks about some downsides, too.
All right, let's hear about the cons, then.
Okay.
What are some things to think about before diving into nanoengineering?
Well, one thing is the education.
Okay.
You usually need an advanced degree to get in, and it's tough. You need to really understand the science and engineering principles.
So no shortcuts.
Nope. And it's competitive, too. It's such a popular field.
Yeah.
You'll be up against some really smart people.
But hey, a little competition is good, right?
Keeps things interesting. And speaking of interesting, RoleCatcher says you always have to keep learning.
Oh, really?
Yeah, nanotech changes so fast.
Okay.
You gotta stay up to date.
So, like, never stop learning.
It's an adventure.
I'm sensing a theme here. Nanoengineering's not for the faint of heart.
Nope. You gotta be dedicated, passionate, and ready to learn new stuff all the time.
Okay, let's talk about climbing the nano ladder.
Career advancement.
Your RoleCatcher actually gives advice on that.
Oh, yeah, they've got some good tips.
Okay, what's the secret?
Well, it's a few things. Continuing education is super important.
So more degrees, certifications.
Those are good. But even just online courses, you know, to keep learning.
Always got to be learning.
Exactly. And then building a strong portfolio.
What does that mean?
Showcase your projects, your research, publications, presentations, anything that shows what you've done in the field.
Like a resume for your expertise.
Exactly. And then networking.
Okay.
Go to conferences, join organizations, connect with people online. It opens up so many doors.
It's all about making those connections.
It is. And speaking of connections, we can't forget RoleCatcher's AI.
Oh, yeah. That's not just information. It actually helps you DO things.
Exactly. It can help you find the right employers.
Yeah.
Tailor your application to those specific jobs.
Okay.
Even practice your answers for the interview.
It's like a virtual career coach.
It really is, guiding you every step of the way.
Okay, so there you have it.
We did it.
We've explored nanoengineering.
A whole thing.
From the exciting career stuff to the essential skills.
Yep.
Even those ethical questions.
It's been quite a deep dive.
It has. We've tackled tough interview questions.
We did.
Even found some secret weapons to help you succeed.
I think we've given our listeners everything they need.
Yeah, I think so too.
To navigate this amazing field.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, what's the one thing you want our listener to remember?
I'd say this. Nanoengineering has limitless potential. If you love science, if you want to create new things and make a difference in the world, this could be the perfect career for you.
And RoleCatcher is there to help you along the way.
Absolutely.
Their platform has the tools, the information, even that AI help to guide you, prep you for those interviews, and land that dream nanotech job.
So go out there, explore the nano world.
Who knows? You might be the next big nanoengineering star.
You never know.
That's a wrap on this episode of The Deep Dive.
Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for going on this journey into the amazing world of nanoengineering with us.
And until next time.
Keep that microscopic curiosity alive.